Oh, with the shades.
Oh, there we go.
Keep them on. You got to keep the shades on, man. You can't put them on and take them off.
All right, we in.
Zueljin's now in the zone, ready to jump in the metaverse. We got Jake back. How's it going, my friend?
It's going awesome. Always happy to be here.
Good, man. And then last but certainly not least, we got Cagy bringing the juice as always with the Miami skyline behind him.
Oh man, what's up, guys? What's up? Happy to be here. Hell yeah, let's do it.
People saying we muted in chat.
Oh,
not anymore. No, it was at the beginning. I didn't turn the sound on right away.
Real.
Well, if you missed that and you haven't been here before, welcome to Around the Metaverse. But if you have been here, you know what's going on. And we're going to jump right into it, man. We got a jam-packed show for you guys today. We're going to be talking about a bit of play-to-earn games and if they will survive a bear market. We've seen a little bit of a price drop in the markets recently. We're going to be talking a bit about that. Animoca making big bets on Binance. And finally, Metaverse property management and some tips and tricks on how you guys can find yourself as landowners in the Metaverse. But before we jump into everything, don't forget to go down and smash that like button and subscribe if you're not already. That helps show the YouTube algorithm that, this is important stuff, man. It's what you guys want to know, and we're here to give it to you, man. So let's jump right into
dislike. Or you could do the dislike. I did a dislike train on BitBoy's show on Friday. Because they're always like, smash the like buttons. I was like, or the dislike button. And I went and I was like, I just disliked it right now, guys. And I was like, come on, get on board with that dislike.
Well, you can't see anymore.
You don't have, you guys shouldn't do dislike. But
it's engagement anyway, man.
Engagement is engagement.
They took away the count.
Press a button down. Just press some buttons
press
down
something.
Yeah. They took away the thing, right?
No,
they did.
Yeah, it doesn't say anymore.
It doesn't say the
count. They don't count dislikes.
It doesn't show the count, but you can still dislike.
That was a political move, though. But yeah, that's another thing.
So the only way to make your vote count is to hit the like button. All right.
There you go.
No one knows if you dislike us. All right. So hit the like button. But jumping right into it, man. Will play to earn survive? The last week or the last few days, I guess, we've seen a bit of a drawdown in the markets across everything. Some things bleeding out as much as 20, 30, 40% in some cases. And we're here to ask you guys. If you think that play-to-earn games are going to kind of last through a bear market, right? So if we don't see us go back up in price here, not saying that I think that's what's going to happen, but hypothetically speaking, of course, if we were into some kind of prolonged downtrend in traditional crypto markets, do you think that's going to have kind of a significant effect on blockchain games, Stache?
I think that NFT games are going to be one of the more bear-proof investments and things that you can make. And the reason for that is because it's a crossover into another massive industry, right? When you talk about cryptocurrency, it's its own thing. It's in its we'll not call it a bubble, but it's in its own environment, and there is not a lot of things that affect it natively. But the great thing about having an NFT game as an investment, or sometimes the underlying token, but is the fact that the gaming is not on a downtrend. We're just seeing more and more people jumping on board gaming in every aspect, whether that's mobile, which is one of the biggest growing sectors of gaming out there for sure, but just casual gamers too. And I think that that's one of the things that really makes it bear market proof, is that people, no matter if the stock market is up or down, or if COVID is keeping everyone inside, or they're not, people are still playing video games, man. No matter what is happening in this world, there could be volcanoes erupting, there could be dinosaurs roaming the damn earth, and people will still be like, well, dinosaurs, oh yeah, and that's what would happen, man. And so I think that's one of the things that really makes it a unique niche within our industry.
Yeah, the sky is falling, and literally everyone's like, oh wait, what's going on? How's Axie doing? Like, wait, what's the next move? But yeah, man, I couldn't agree more. But I do think there's a bit of a caveat there, because gaming is on the uptrend, but not necessarily everyone is piling into blockchain games right now, right? Like let me ask you this, Cagy, for example, someone who is always talking about Axie, man. Do you think so if SLP continues to drop, or if it keeps dropping, say with the rest of the market, if that were to happen, say we go a month, 2 months, 3 months with SLP not regaining any territory, do you think that we'll ever get to a point where scholars become disincentivized to play? You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. Yeah, if S&P goes to zero, which is going to zero, guys. All right, sell it all. No, I'm just kidding.
Right into Cagy's wallet. Sell it right into...
No. I mean, yeah, of course they're gonna be decentivized. They're gonna feel like crap. You know, managers or scholarships are not gonna feel good. But I think, to be honest, Axie does have a lot of bullets. They have a lot of bullets. They have lined up a lot of bullets for this type of moments, right? That's why they would have taken out, let's say, land gameplay at the peak of Axie. Then, you know, they wouldn't have the bullet for what's coming now, right? For this type of moments. They've always been good at that, right? Now they have V2, land gameplay. I know they have a few other things that down the pipeline. So they're pretty, they know what they're doing in that sense, right? Like they wait for this type of moments so that they can revamp, right? And bring like new things into their ecosystem. But in general, I think it gets affected. Of course it gets affected. There's a lot of people that are just speculating on games. So a lot of this prices and all this crap, it's speculation, a lot of it. But long term, I mean, gaming, like Stache said, you know, it's one of those that people just put money in all the time. But maybe there's going to be moments where you're not going to see like, wow, holy shit, $500,000 for a NFT asset, right? Those moments are going to go down for a little bit. And, you know, you're going to have like $100 Axies that we have right now in the marketplace, $90, right? But there's a point they'll go up, right? Because people start speculating again and again and again. But it just, you know, but it's going to stay. It's going to stay. Gaming is going to stay for sure. So.
Honestly, man, I didn't even realize that the Axies were that low right now. Like you said, $90, $100 for the floor on Axies.
I'm buying right now, bro.
Well, so I mean, for anyone out there who hasn't been following Axie for the past couple of months, like there was a point where the floor was probably $300-$400, and it cost, you know, a solid $1,000 just to start playing, right? So, I mean, hey, maybe now might be a good time to get involved if you know you don't have any exposure.
And
any
they're
Axies
good.
yet.
They're good. Literally like pure fucking Axie, zero count, $100. That's crazy. It's crazy. And I think it's okay. It's fine, you know, for people to get in and earn a few bucks, even if it's cents, right? Like a couple bucks. I mean, it's something, right? If you like card games and stuff like that, and you're earning a little bit, like who cares? This is not about like getting rich, right? If you want to try Axie for cheap, this is a great moment to do it. So anybody that complains in a couple weeks, like, bro, like, come on, like there's moments like this one that you should try it, right? Like just drop $300 and see what's up. See if you like the ecosystem or whatever the fuck. I know it's actually not in the best place right now. I'm not very happy, but still, like, you know, try it. You know?
Yeah. It is important though to know, like, understand what is actually going on in the whole ecosystem. Like the 10 millionth Axie was just birthed, and I think one of the reasons why a lot of people have not, like, there hasn't been that much demand for Axies. A lot of people have been selling their teams and stuff is because they're realizing, oh wait, Axies are just an asset that continues to get inflated. But because they are so cheap now, and we do have a big bullish catalyst ahead sometime next year, probably, when Axie burning is introduced with land gameplay and people start leveling up their land, and all of a sudden there's this reduction in inflation and a new demand like that comes online from people that own land that want to upgrade it. All of a sudden you could see a massive turnaround happen where the whole story changes. It's like Axie inflation is reducing, there's more demand for Axies, and you could see a double, triple, 5x in price. So,
and that could be during
like
a bear
when
market.
Everything is negative and everyone is selling, like that's probably a good time to take a look at it and see, is this something that...
And not only that, Jake, like you said, like imagine when the upgrades come in, there's going to be different dynamics within the marketplace. So if I could sell my Axie that is level 5 with this part that is upgraded, right? Now you have different dynamics, which is not just Axie, 0 breed count and 6 peer, 5 peer. Now you add on different dynamics into the marketplace, and people start buying for different reasons, right? And different things that you might be able to do in land gameplay. I always say, what if one of those Axies that suck in battle, it's good for fishing. I don't know if there's going to be fishing, but I can imagine, right? So people start buying like fishing Axies now because they're farming fish, right? Or something like that.
Exactly. New gameplay. Sorry.
That's okay. This is the time to invest too. If you've been thinking about not only playing the game, but getting a little business started, maybe getting some scholars under your belt, maybe put together a guild, this is the time that you would want to do that. Like when I put my Axie teams together, it was costing me, you know, 11 to 1500 bucks a team. And that was between breeding too, sometimes depending on how many, you know, breeds I can get for whatever was the meta. If you wanted to buy a pure aqua breeder pair for a little while, you were paying like 1.5 ETH, you know. The idea that you want to get in any of these, it's very emotional with crypto. When you see red, you want to panic sell, and when you see green, you want to buy because you want to ride that wave. But it's just the opposite. It's the same thing with NFTs. The Axie is still in the news every damn day. So if you want to start accumulating, what they call an accumulation period, you already know that there's upgrades that are going to be coming along the line, that the ecosystem is going to get more and more popular. Start accumulating now.
Yeah,
pick up a few teams.
The bear market, I mean, and not just Axies, guys. Like the bear market is the time to be doing those things, you know, because we'll see the tokens down. We'll see the NFTs, you know, lose some value over those times, and that's the time to like Zueljin said, is the time to be actually looking to make your buys. And so, you know, I think that what we're kind of coming back full circle of, you know, play to earn surviving during a bear market. You know, these are upgrades and these are things that are going to happen independent of price action, independent of what the rest of the market is doing and how Bitcoin is doing or how Ethereum is moving, you know, what the price is. These companies are still developing. It's not like they stopped. They're like, oh guys, it's a bear market, guys. We're going to put development on hold. Now if that happens, then you know you picked a shit company. But otherwise, you know, that's when everybody in the crypto industry, when there's a bear market, we put our heads down and we start to butle. And that is the one big thing that I've always noticed, is that bear markets are the time to build. Not only build out your project, but build out your portfolio as well.
Yo, Jake, wait, Jake, Gala, bro, Gala. What's up, man? Yo, it's been pumping, bro. What's up?
Well, I mean, it got added to Binance, and that made it pump a little bit. Yeah. And then it got added to Coinbase, and that made it pump even more. And then, you know, the whole Metaverse thing that's been going on, everyone's like, oh, what can I buy Metaverse play on Coinbase? So everyone's buying what, Gala and Sand and I guess Decentraland, and that's what we've been seeing skyrocket.
We're gonna have to ask you about your recent land pickup in some of the Gallo ecosystem towards the end of the segment here.
Yeah, I mean, I've been buying as much as I can from Mirandus. I think that Mirandus is still underrated. Time will tell though whether I'm right or not. Maybe it's just overhyped in my own mind.
You are.
No, we're gonna dive into it, man. We're gonna dive into it at the end in our last segment, man. And you're gonna tell everyone out there why Mirandus is undervalued and why they're definitely gonna keep mooning for the rest of time. I mean, for at least the foreseeable.
I mean, everything has a peak. Everything has a peak. The peak for Mirandus will probably be in my lifetime, but it's probably not gonna be this decade.
I mean, who knows, man? We hopefully not. I think we got probably outside of our lifetime. We're still early for all you guys watching out there. And speaking of, let's move on to our next segment here. We got to talk about a little bit about Animoca in the news again here, dropping more money, dropping more money in play to earn games than anyone else, it seems like, and taking a big bet on Binance here. So recently, Animoca actually paired up with Binance in a new partnership to make a $200 million fund where Binance is essentially getting a $100 million stake in Animoca, while Animoca is getting a $100 million stake in Binance, with the aim of incubating more of their play-to-earn ecosystem. And I was kind of surprised by that, actually. Not necessarily surprised, but personally speaking, I don't have anything against Binance or Binance Smart Chain, but it just seems like it's not necessarily like the chain that the innovating is happening on necessarily right now. And I want to get your guys' opinion. Zueljin, man, I want to ask you, do you think Binance Smart Chain and, you know, subsequently Binance being kind of a main proponent behind that centralized Binance is going to be a leading blockchain for play to earn and blockchain games, 2 years from now?
Because BSC, like right now, BSC is still very, very prominent in the gaming space. Almost everything CeDAPOD touches is all on Binance Smart Chain. Now,
Paid actor.
Binance, no. Binance has picked up Alien Worlds. When I started playing it, picked up Alien Worlds. That's what brought me on the radar. I still can't use the exchange. So I'm sure not a fanboy, but I sure like when my shit gets listed on there because the token price flies up. They bought Gala. Well, they in Gala. They have boxies that just got announced for it as well. So I'm definitely a fanboy when it comes to that. Everything, it's kind of like Coinbase. When something gets picked up by Binance as an exchange, the price surges up. It gives exposure to a larger audience, and it gives us everything that we want, which is mass adoption. More and more and more. People that jump on the exchanges in crypto for the first time, Binance and Coinbase are where they head primarily, you know? So anytime gaming coins get exposure to those two networks, we're profiting from it. Everybody in crypto is. Everybody in crypto gaming.
My opinion on Binance has actually changed over time. When I first got into this space, I kind of felt like they were a little bit shady. I didn't really like working with projects that were on Binance. But they've been growing on me over time. I still don't use it that often, but I recently listened to an interview with the CEO of Binance, and I really loved a lot of the ways that he thinks about things. And like, he wants founders to have like 7 to 10 year payout, not 2 year. He wants people to really be in this for the long term. And he also like is super down for like, just like, it doesn't matter, they already have the biggest market share, just like continuing to lower fees when they can reduce costs. So I honestly, it feels like Binance is a good thing for the world overall. And my initial dislike of them was a little unwarranted.
I mean, there's still the, in terms of the centralized exchange, I believe the biggest, right, in terms of volume. And then, you know, Smart Chain, right, is the second most, you know, the second largest by market cap smart contract platform, right?
It's got a lot of issues. When you use it, you feel it. It's sluggish. It's not Solana. It never will be Solana. But the idea that it's still inexpensive and it's super accessible, it makes a big difference.
I know. I personally, man, I'm the Solana guy, right? Like, if I had to choose one to be like, this is the one I think is doing the most right now, or at least like the best environment for that, for the next few years, I'm a Solana guy. But man, Binance Smart Chain is still in the running. You know, they actually, I mean, they're sort of not leading the race, but at least in the front running of things. But Stache, let me ask you, man, like, I'm curious with Animoca making this investment in BSC, with many of the games that they have kind of already incubated or are associated with in some sense, like the Sandbox, like Phantom Galaxies. A lot of these are on Ethereum or Ethereum layer 2, like Polygon. Do you think we're going to start seeing BSC incorporated into these things now with Animoca making that investment?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, you know, BSC has come quite a ways, just like some of these other chains. And as much as you may think like, oh, it doesn't have as much going on as Solana does, I mean, I'm an avid user actually of Binance Smart Chain, and I have been since the beginning. And I would say that there's maybe not as much quality, but there's a lot more volume than there is versus Solana-based projects. It's just we're not getting as much Western exposure to it because I think it has more of an Eastern kind of, you know, predisposition, we'll say.
Well, and I mean, in the U.S. we can't use Binance,
right? So. And that's what I'm saying. So because we're prohibited really from using the exchange, we're not getting as much exposure to it. But I mean, there is a ton of stuff going on Binance Smart Chain, and whereas, you know, in my opinion, in the last 6 or so months, a lot of the quality has not been there. I'm starting to actually see some really high quality stuff coming to Binance Smart Chain in the last month or two. And some things that we're going to see here coming up in 2022, I think are going to blow people's minds away. So I think it's a very viable network. I think the fees are low. I think that when you talk about the stability of a network of Binance versus something like Solana is huge. And so then when you talk about, okay, well, why is Animoca coming on board and why are they investing in this stage? Because they already have their hands well into a bunch of these other chains. And they're like, well, where else do we go? What's the untapped market? It's Binance Smart Chain. And so they're smart. I mean, Animoca is you know, gobbling all these things up. They are going to be the mega brand when all these things start to explode. Animoca is going to be at the top tier of everything. They're going to have their damn hands in every cookie jar out there that is going to be a success. And, you know, Binance Smart Chain makes sense for them to go that direction. So partnering with Binance to do this creator fund, I think is brilliant, and another next step and another feather in their cap for a company that is very forward thinking, more than a lot of companies out there.
And if I may,
Brands is publicly traded, right? We can invest in it.
Yeah.
Yes.
They, I think, are traded on Australian stock exchanges.
Yeah, not here
like
in the
that?
US.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're not based here in the US, so they're not traded here. But you can.
And if I may, the writing of the contracts for all of the smart contracts is essentially a mirror of Ethereum.
Yeah, like, exactly. It's EVM compatible. It's literally Ethereum
look how
fees.
much acceptance Ethereum has in general for almost everything. Now, I will say that the marketplaces and stuff for the BSC type NFTs aren't on par with something like as acceptable or as accepted as, you know, OpenSea. But
there is none. Do you know any?
What's that?
Do you know any?
Binance Smart Chain?
A lot of the DeFi places have these NFT swaps that aren't really something, or they're specific to games. So when a game will come out, they'll have their own exchange, for instance. But like Bakery Swap for a little while and Pancake Swap were doing NFTs, and they were popular and stuff, but it's not to the degree of something.
But there's no OpenSea. There isn't that's the main issue right now.
Well, no, there is. It's just, they're just not as big and as well established as OpenSea.
I don't know any. I saw a few attempts.
Binance has a built-in NFT exchange. I mean, they're doing a ton of things on there. I mean,
that's on the website, and it's absolutely trash.
Correct.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying that it's there. Yeah, the options are not as good.
I agree.
There's no real competitors to OpenSea either. There's a few different ones that have a little bit of merit that you can use, and depending on what kind of perks and quirks you want with it, you can get it. But they're not OpenSea.
It's true. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple on Ethereum, and it's just like, you know, like Token Trove is one of those ones. It's like real hidden and smaller, but then you look at, you know, it does become these smaller micro called like Immutable has their own marketplace now, and they're starting to build projects up on it. And so I think we'll see more development of that, and I think that's one of those cool things that Animoca is doing here and trying to spur by putting a $200 million fund out there. Think about, you know, they're going to finance the next OpenSea, but on Binance Smart Chain. It'll be just as good. It'll be, you know, have a high quality interface and support team, and that's exactly what that kind of money is for.
Well, sorry, I agree, man, and I think that there is a lot of room to grow with what they're doing too. But like you were saying, let me play devil's advocate quick. Like you're saying, that's an EVM compatible blockchain. The smart contracts are, you know, basically identical to that of Ethereum. Say, you know, the network, the usage grows 10x, right? I think it's like $1 right now for some of the more complex, you know, BNB fees, right? If you're doing something on Binance Smart Chain, like what's too much? What's too high of a fee, right?
Ooh, I've never hit $1
for you guys to pay. So if you want to do some, like I took some cake out of staking today. It was like $1.16 for the fee, right? So I mean, 10x from now, that's $10, right? So are you okay paying $10 in you know, say you're playing the newest Binance Smart Chain game? And,
I mean, I lose $1,000 in ETH fees every week.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, when you compare it to Ethereum, it's way better. But in general, no. I would actually agree with you, and I would say no. In general, it needs to be at a point where the fees scale with the price action on something like that, right? And so that's something that we have to really think about too. Is that if people are onboarding and they're using fiat to buy, we'll say, you know, BNB to be able to use on a game, well, then we need to look at like, okay, well, why isn't a chain not making it to where it's scalable in relativity to the value of the coin itself? Because that's becoming the issue. Is it, you know, the fees on Ethereum weren't that bad either until it started blowing out of proportion, and then the network got backed up. So you know, that's something that I'm very surprised we haven't seen happen. And I mean, as much as I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to really peg crypto assets to USD like that, I think having some sort of system for that makes sense, you know, for fees in the future, because it can get out of hand, and it can get, same thing can happen to Solana. I can guarantee same thing. If there's any fees like that, the same thing can happen to Solana, and then the same thing can happen with Wax. At least with Wax, it's a renewable resource where you put it in and you can always pull it back out. It's not gone. So that's the only difference I would say there, is that it may be more CPU you have to put in there, but you can always pull it back out and you've lost nothing.
I mean, if transactions got to the weight that Solana would need something like a layer 2 solution to be able to process transactions,
that's not a, it's not a
wouldn't
good
be having
thing.
this show right now, boys. Not from these locations, at least. We'd be over there with Cagy's view.
Yeah, man, and like we'll let the computer scientists deal with that stuff. All right, like we'll let them deal with that. But let's move on to our last topic here, man. I want to get your guys' opinions on some tips for Metaverse property managers, or kind of how you can become one. So, I mean, let's be honest here. The hot topic is the Metaverse, and I think one of the hottest investments people are looking at in the Metaverse is becoming a virtual real estate owner or landowner. I think actually there was a sale, or maybe a record-breaking sale in There have been a couple record-breaking sales in the Sandbox, Decentraland, and even Axie Infinity land, I think reaching like $550 million or something like that recently. So clearly there's money to be had in being a landowner. I want to ask you guys, in your opinion, like what are some benefits that people are going to see down the road from owning these lands, right? Jake, Jake, let me ask you, what do you think some like of the big benefits will be for people that invest in Metaverse land today?
Well, I mean, hopefully there'll be some revenue generation potential if it's a good metaverse and you're buying land that has some good utility. At least most of the land that I've been buying has been for that purpose. I mean, I suppose I've bought some land in the Sandbox that I'm not sure if I'm actually going to make money on, but I want to make some like metaverse versions of some real life stuff. So like a metaverse thing for a book that I'm writing on Play to Earn Gaming. And then maybe even like some kind of location you can visit for on-chain gaming. I think something like that would be cool. Maybe there's not real revenue generating potential there, but on everything in Mirandus, like that is going to be like, you can think of it as a whole new country. So when you're buying land or buildings in or for Mirandus, you're essentially just buying businesses that are going to exist in this new economy that's launching. Now, because the economy does not exist yet, and this is important to keep in mind for any of these upcoming projects that aren't like proved to work yet, there is a lot of risk because we don't really know, like, all right, like what even is a good estimation for like how much a tavern in Mirandus might be able to earn, for example. Like, it's really hard to know. So maybe you could guess like, okay, let's say they sell food to travelers for like 50 cents in real dollars per meal, and you sell 20 meals. Okay, then you're making, what is that, $10. Well, let's say that it costs you $5 for all the goods that you have to buy from farmers and stuff in order to make those meals. So then you have $5 in profit. So then you have to pay like $1 a day in rent to the town that you're in. So that takes your profit down a little bit. So maybe now you have $4 in profit, but now you multiply $4 times 100 days, and all of a sudden, what's that, $400? So then you're what, $1,200 in a year, and you've slapped, I don't know, a 10p on that, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, a tavern should actually be worth like 15 grand, and it makes sense. But obviously, like, there's a ton of like guesswork there because the Mirandus economy doesn't exist yet. Like, maybe across all the servers, your tavern could be selling thousands of meals a day. Who knows really what the potential is? But I think it's super exciting, and I am personally happy to experiment, to be a part of this experiment as the metaverse starts coming online and we have real economies and real ownership in digital worlds.
Jake,
yeah,
go ahead, Cagy. Go for it.
No, yeah. I was gonna jump into the Sandbox. I think the Sandbox is the most clear one to me. The most clear one that you can generate. I mean, you can have pieces of land, like a huge piece of land. It's like the Sandbox is like a mall, right? If you go to the mall and you see all these brands, there's brands in malls that don't even sell that much. Like Gucci, I mean, they sell, but let's say there are some malls that don't have that much traffic, and they're only there to show their name. And the Sandbox is going to be one of those where big gaming companies are going to come in and they're going to be like, yo, we want to be our name. I want our name there. I want our little ecosystem there. So they're going to have to rent it from people like us that might have, big plots, and we're going to rent it to those big companies, right? That want a spot in this, metaverse mall, basically. So I think that's going to happen in the Sandbox. And then on top of that, you're going to rent it to people that want to build games. Somebody might have a big idea, play to earn idea, and they want to build it on the Sandbox, right? Or you can build your own game, little play to earn game within the Sandbox, and actually generate income. If it's a fun game, it's possible. It's possible. You could do stores, right? You could have your, art galleries, whatever the hell, right? And I think the Sandbox is the most clear to me. Look at Snoop Dogg. I mean, he's gonna throw parties there, and you're gonna have to pay to get.
And I'm gonna be there. I got my pass. Damn it! Right? I'm gonna be at all those parties.
He's gonna be rapping. He's gonna be rapping right there with his little, Snoop Dogg character in the Sandbox, and we're gonna pay a concert to go into his land. So just imagine that. There's going to be so many opportunities in the sandbox. It's so clear to me. Very, very clear.
Yeah, I mean, and then people were in chat were asking the same thing, and I'm right there with you, Cagy. Like, you know, I saw the potential in Sandbox because of their aggressive approach to bringing in other brands into their metaverse. I mean, I've not seen any other metaverse do the way they're doing it, and they already have secured a lot of really big brand names. And so we're just going to see that getting bigger and bigger, you know, and people want to be around that. And so you're right. Like, there's so many opportunities between renting out your land, creating an experience on your land, like I'm doing right now. I have my team working on a game for me in the sandbox, which I'm meeting with later tonight, actually. And so, you know, I'm at a point where, like, okay, well, how am I going to monetize it? Well, I'm not really sure yet. But what I know for sure I'm going to do is I'm going to incorporate into all the cool things I'm doing so people can earn NFTs by playing that game and going in there and having a good experience being a secret agent in my little, you know, corner of the metaverse in the sandbox. But you know, for everybody else out there that owns land, a lot of opportunity out there. I think the biggest one really is renting. Obviously, you could flip land just like other real estate agents. Like, there's people who own real estate. Well, what are you doing with it if you don't have a tenant and you're not renting it out? Well, that's what you do with regular land. No one says, how do I make money off of my house here, my land? I don't know, guys. It doesn't seem clear to me how I make money off this land. I'm like, well, you're either renting it or you're flipping it. Those are the two things you can do with physical real estate. If you can do the same damn things with the virtual real estate, then what more do you need? But Sandbox gives you even more. And that's what Cagy is saying right there, and that's what I love about it too, man. And same thing with Mirandus. That's the whole point with these metaverse lands, is that they're giving you more opportunity. Now, it does come down to the big risk factor that Jake kind of alluded to was, you know, what happens if nobody plays? What happens if just or not enough people play? And then your investment where you thought, hey, it's worth it now to invest, you know, 50K, but not enough people play this thing, they don't get in, and then that means that you're not going to be generating enough revenue to recoup your you know, for any ROI on that investment. Well, that could definitely be the case. That's why I try and bet on a sure thing. And I think that some of these bigger companies like Sandbox, like Gala, like Decentraland, you know, these are going to be the ones that people are going to spend time in because they already have a really good ecosystem worked out.
Yeah, man. The Sandbox is clear, man. It's so clear. I talk to people that have been in Roblox, like their kids and shit. Yeah. I show them the Sandbox. They're like, yeah. Yeah,
my daughter was huge in Roblox. I mean, all the kids, man, all these like millions of kids are in Roblox, and the gameplay is all they care about. They don't give a shit about the graphics. They care that their friends are there, that it's cool. But you know, Roblox doesn't have this. I mean, they do have some of the brand exposure, but not like even the Sandbox already has. So I mean, the way
Roblox is pay to win, by the way. There's so many game modes that
because everyone's building their own game. Like, so everyone's building their own game. So they you know, there's no control of like if it's pay to win or if it's you know, whatever it is. It's just, you know, they kind of have a little bit of a free for all when it comes to that. I started
looking on YouTube, like, is Roblox pay to win? And I saw so many experiences where you could buy like better weapons and, you know, people shitting on kids. Like,
and that's going to happen. But the most popular experiences there are the completely free experiences where you're going in and, you know, if you're paying for anything, you're literally just getting like an extra cool pet that month. You know, Adopt Me is one of the biggest games on Roblox, and, you know, millions of kids playing it. And there's no winning. It's a metaverse. It's a metaverse game where you just go around and you just have it. And there's no battling. There's no anything. So you just kind of go around and you have your pet, you breed them, and you're feed them to get to like the next level pet, and like just kids love it, man. And so I think we'll see more of that.
Didn't a Louis Vuitton bag sold in Roblox for like $6,000 the other day? It's like a digital Louis Vuitton bag, like literally. Yeah. And I think it has like unlimited supply or some shit. I don't even know. I don't even know you can like verify the supply, and it's sold for like 6K or some shit. I mean, that's a lot of money for a Roblox Louis Vuitton bag, right? Like, what the hell?
But in general, not even just the big ones, the small ones too. Building a really cool level that a lot of people want to try out. It's kind of like a popular Minecraft mod or something like that, where you can actually monetize it within that system, like in Roblox. My nephew was over this weekend. He's 3 years old, and he kept saying he wanted to watch the Running Heads video, and it was the most horrible mod that you can imagine. It was just some giant heads in this maze chasing him around or whatever. But he liked it. He watched the video 30 times in a row. But the thing about it is,
that's kids, man.
They have the ability to skip levels. They have the ability to change into those big heads and stuff like that. And all of that is monetized within their own experience. And the level of detail that went into this was not a lot. So you can make a week-long experience, kind of like a haunted house for Halloween. You know, you have this theme and you go with it. And when it dies out, you do something else. Almost like if you had a real estate, if you had a business that was selling fruit, nobody wanted fruit. Maybe you try clothes for a little while. You could just, like you said.
It's the Halloween store, just like you said. Like you have a Halloween store, it's set up for the 3 months around Halloween.
Pop up.
Yeah.
And then as soon as that's done, you turn it into a Christmas store. And then you sell Christmas goods from the end of
That's retail 101
of October to all the way through December. And then you go into spring and you sell things for St. Patrick's Day and Easter. And then summer you do fireworks and floaties and pool toys.
Hanukkah, whatever.
If you guys think about it, like having a YouTube channel is almost like having land in the metaverse.
Yeah.
Except like there's an infinite number of YouTube channels that can exist. Yet that does not change the fact that having a YouTube channel still has a ton of value. So now imagine they added a cap on the total number of YouTube channels that could exist. And like if you wanted to start a YouTube channel, you had to like buy one from someone who already had one.
They already do that for sure.
YouTube channels would moon. That would be insane. So like that's pretty much what Metaverse land is. But breaking live on the show, On-Chain Gaming just hit 100,000 subscribers. Right?
Yes!
Yay! Congratulations!
I know you were close, man. It was so close. That's a huge milestone.
The double plaque.
Yeah, the
Holy
double.
crap!
The double plaque. Yeah.
Hey, yo, congrats.
Share some plaques for the rest of us, Jake. Come on, man.
You guys.
I'm coming for you, Jake. I'm coming for you, man. I'm coming for you, bro. I'm riding your heels.
I'm slow. You guys are fucking killing it, man.
Dude, you just need to do what CryptoStache and I do, and when he has a really banging video, I just copy him. When I have a really banging video, he just copies me.
I'm starting.
Don't give the secrets away, damn it!
I mean, I got my style.
Top 5 minutes.
I'm gonna stick to my style.
Tomorrow.
I'm okay going like slow with my style and the way I kind of like to do shit. But yeah, congrats, man.
You're sexy, Cagy. You're gonna make it, man. We're all gonna make it. Yeah. Wag me, everyone on this channel.
Us anyway.
Zueljin sitting over here on 300K. He's like, come on, guys. He's over stunned. His stun is on. Like, wait till I get to 300K, bro.
All 4 of us, or all 5 of us, are going to be on this show in 3 years with Snoop Dogg, with like, I don't know, Tom Brady,
bringing in
NFTs.
Huge people talking about NFTs in the metaverse we've been doing it before you guys knew what the hell the term metaverse meant. And welcome to the channel.
We've been doing this since the Bored Ape Yacht Club people found out what seed phrases were.
Literally, yo, those people are so lost. Like, no offense.
But hey, hold on. So coming back to this real quick, and just want to circle back to the topic about metaverse property management. Now, you think about we talked about this. I think maybe last week or the week before about jobs in the metaverse, and I think that will be one of those things where you talk about right now. There's people who are like real estate agents, right? Property managers. We're already seeing, builder being a big explosion of like people want things built. And so having these build teams, I mean, being a property manager of other people's property. I mean, like, I'm like, yeah, here's my 50 properties in Sandbox. Like, go and rent them out, find people to make experiences on them, and you guys manage the property, and I pay you a fee. Like, that's going to happen, man. It's going to happen.
That's real. I'm trying to hire one right now. I already my Axie scholarships and my upcoming land purchases.
Yeah, I just hired one of my friends on to help with a YouTube channel right now. But honestly, I'm looking out like a year or 2 from now, and I'm like, somebody's going to need to manage all these assets.
Hey, for your graveyard.
I use a guild for that, actually. I use Real Deal. He's a good friend of mine. He has a guild of 40,000 people.
I'm ready.
All my assets. All my assets.
He's got the shovel. he's ready to start digging graves, everyone. Zueljin's going to be the lead grave digger in Jake's cemetery at Mirandus. No, because Jake even was going through the books for his shop, his little shop in Mirandus too. Like, you're going to need a metaverse CPA. We were just talking about it. It's almost tax time.
100%.
Like,
I've been talking with the CPA who's been writing articles about how like land in the metaverse is going to be taxed, and like video game assets, like how you're going to have to do tax accounting on them. Like,
wait. Does property tax fall in the jurisdiction of where your computer is? Like,
I think the property tax is like whatever the game developer Whatever the
Right, they're
game
taxing you in
developers
game, man,
charging
for
you.
sure. You
States are going to be like, we want your money anyway. Give us your
that's just
money.
going to be income tax. It's just you're just going to have to really be able to prove all the expenses that you have for your shops. Like, no, I'm really buying this virtual crops.
I know, and that's good. The thing about that is it's like mind blowing, actually. But you're right, man. Like, I have deductions with my staff. It's virtual staff, and like I had to buy skins for everybody because we gotta look fly, guys. But it's like buying, like a uniform,
expense.
right? For everybody that works at your real shop.
Uniform design.
So there's all kinds of crazy stuff. Like, write-offs galore, but it's still gonna be a shit show.
Yeah, if you're a CPA watching this right now, just know that there's going to be a huge market for Metaverse CPAs.
Learn it now. Learn it now, and you'll be the GOAT.
Come meet us in the Metaverse.
Yeah.
And you'll literally get all of our business from day one.
I'm actually bringing one soon to my channel. He's a big YouTuber, but also a lawyer, and this guy knows fucking everything right now about taxes and all of that. So just to kind of learn about it, because I think a lot of people need it. I need it. You know, I don't know shit, but I've been watching his channel, and this guy is a fucking beast, dude. He knows every single trick to get the best, the best that you can do for your money in terms of doing it legal, everything legal, right, guys?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the best you could do. Is the best you could do, right?
There you go.
There's literally no way. There's literally no way to know.
The IRS expects, though, after making a certain amount, that the best you can do is hire a professional.
True.
Yeah, but if the professionals suck and they don't really know what the hell they're doing either, then like,
I mean, for crypto, there's like not really that many like specific
to hire, right?
There's nothing written for it. So it's just you're applying all the old stuff on the new technology. Yeah. So like, I don't know.
Even regular taxes, like they give people the ability to do taxes themselves, but the instructions are written in legal prose. Like, and you get penalties if you don't do it correctly. It's the stupidest system in the world. It needs to be simplified.
Rigged.
Fucking rigged.
Yeah, no, the metaverse, honestly, and YouTube, like I've always had my businesses online. I think a lot of us here have. It's like it really makes me question what is the value of what we're paying to these governments when you can be somewhere else and pay far less and still have a very high quality of life.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm going to Bitcoin City in El Salvador. I'm buying a house over there. I'm literally going in like 2 months to see what projects are out there. I'm gonna buy a house.
What El Salvador's income tax rate is?
There's no income tax.
Oh, there's no income tax.
Like you don't. There's no. I'm sorry. For the Bitcoin, there is no. It's legal tender, so you don't have
no
to.
Capital gains.
No capital gains. So yeah. So income tax, I don't know. I'm sorry.
Thailand just killed taxes, I believe.
Yeah.
And it's pretty out there.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, I was looking. There's a lot of like these different islands that will give you citizenship and have like a 0 or like 1-2% tax rate if you buy a piece of land there.
But you're American,
like if you invest $200K on this island,
that.
we give you citizenship. It's kind of like how it works.
I think gotta pay as an American.
I think the perception is changing across like globally right now, and we're going to see more and more countries start to literally make financial legislation that's more attractive to people, and we're going to start seeing real live competition for like the world's wealth, right? And hopefully if you're smart, right, we know a lot of people have been moving to Puerto Rico. We know a lot of people have been moving or considering moving. Portugal is talking about a lot of cool stuff too. And we'll see if maybe the metaverse gets incorporated into some sort of states. Maybe they start making laws for the metaverse that are good, right? Who knows?
It's true.
It's coming.
But geographic borders might kind of fade away because there's so much money that could be made online that you don't need to be stationed at a specific location.
Right. Global stuff will come eventually, but it's hard.
United Nations DAO, anyone? UN DAO?
UN DAO.
Yeah. My fear?
Earth DAO? Earth DAO? I think Earth DAO makes more sense. Earth DAO.
My fear is that it's always those that are like winning right now, the incumbents that are doing the best, that are the slowest to innovate and are like the least willing to be competitive.
Like Steam.
So because like Steam, or because the US right States. Now is in the position that it's in, it's like Alex, you're right, like a lot of these like up and coming countries that are trying to be competitive, like they're going to be trying to attract us to bring our wealth there, but like I don't know if the US is really gonna think it matters to them, and it does matter in the long run, but I don't know how far.
But they like
wins that long run.
It's like Sky Mavis right now. They don't need They can just kind of ride it
They're
out,
just coasting.
dude. Just print
Just
more
coasting.
money. Why not?
We'll figure it out when the break
US
comes.
dollar
We'll figure it out.
SLP. LP, brother.
Cagy's freaking out, man. You triggered him. We don't have
I'm
time. We don't have time to watch the ensuing fit happen. But yeah, man,
Printing.
the printing. But yeah, man, there's tons of opportunity out there for anyone looking to get invested in the metaverse right now. That's why we do the show every Monday, man, to let you guys know what you should be looking for, the best ways to kind of navigate this whole crazy world as we kind of keep innovating over the next, decade, 2 decades. And we can't wait to see you guys maybe on the show with us here in the metaverse, in the coming months and years. But that's all the time we have today, man. I want to thank you guys again for being on the show, and you guys watching out there. Thank you for joining us today. Don't forget to smash that like button before we hop off here. And don't forget to check out all these guys' content every week. We're bringing you that alpha that, is going to change your life, man. It's changed all of our lives. And, we wouldn't be doing this
10,000 X, fucking 1 million X. What's up, bro?
1
Hit that
million
like,
X.
baby. Woo!
1 million
All you
X,
guys,
baby.
1 million X. The community is the best. We'll see you guys next time.
This will make
See you guys
rich.
next week. This was Around the Metaverse, everyone. Catch you later.
Adios.
Peace.